Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome back to Serafina's Saga. Well, King can now have our attention and let's talk with him as he waited. So you wish to join my royal guard? Yeah, my lord. No, I don't. Then you must be very smart because I pay my royal guard generously. And as everyone knows, money solves everything in one way or another. No, it doesn't. Well, sometimes. I blinked at Kalias with surprise. Does he really believe that? I suppose that he must. He has this much gold and still wants more. Until a couple of weeks ago, I had never heard of money. Kalias seems to sincerely believe gold will solve all his problems. Yet to me, it only appears to be making them. I almost challenged him outright, but I know I should be careful, so I search for some sort of compromise. Has it solved all your problems, Majesty? Kalias looks me over carefully. He must have felt the sting of my question, but I try to look as innocently curious as possible. Yeah, it has. As long as you have gold, you will never be lonely. Everyone wants money, whether they know it or not. As long as you are rich enough, friends will always flock to you. I want to ask him next whether he believes money has bought the love of his people, but this time I hold my tongue. He looks suddenly at Reuben. I've changed my mind. About what, brother? About the Elborn Garden. You may try to restore it if you wish. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. I trust that you'll be discreet about it, and it won't interfere with your other duties. I'll keep the project as quiet as deaf man's lullaby, and naturally I will remain at your beck at call. Good. I suspect fire will do most of the work anyway. This is servant's work, after all. Quiet. What do you say, Fair? Certainly, I happen to love plants, in fact, or I will try to do my best. What's the difference? Well, maybe telling him that I love plants and crop is not a good idea. So I'll try my best. I hope that you will. The king keeps staring at me with a strange look in his eyes. An awkward silence stretches between us before he finally realizes a sigh. Well, that settles that. But before we go, I want to make plans to have dinner with you and Uncle Arken. Dinner? With Uncle Arken? Yeah, I want to make sure he's feeling comfortable. The three of us all together. It would almost feel like a family, don't you think? I could even invite Grandpa Tanya to dine with us. I'm not sure that's a good idea. You know she still hates him. Yeah, but he's her son. Ah, well, I suppose you're right. In that case, feel free to bring Fair. 4 seems like a happy number. If that's what you like, Cass, I'll bring her along. Excellent, I've sent you a message to arrange a time. Now then, I'd best get back to work. Yeah, of course, brother. I'll talk to you later. Cass gives me a strange look as I follow Reuben out. Yeah, we'll speak again soon. No, we don't. My mind spins as Reuben and I leave that throne room. Part of me can't stop thinking about Kalias and his strange personality. Another can't believe that Reuben continues to prove so resourceful. But most importantly, I can't believe I'm on my way to the Elborn Tower, the tower belonging to my own family. As I follow Reuben, I stay very silent, deep in my own thoughts. Fortunately, he seems to be absorbed by his own ideas, but all the while, he wears a smug little smile on his face. Neither of us speak until we enter the Elborn Tower, and even then, I initially lose my breath. For a moment, I feel as if I'm back home in the jungle. Cinder trees stretch out of the floor and branch off in the stones. Flowers blossom across walls and windows. The garden itself teems even more with plant life. Large gaps in the ceilings and walls of the rooms let in thick streams of sunlight and wind, making me feel as if I'm outdoors. I can see that the plants are struggling to live, but I can almost feel their intense desire to survive, something that has kept them alive for years with little sustenance. I hope you're happy, Cherry Tart. This sprawling green fence is the best solution I could come up with. It's beautiful. It's a dirt heap, but I suppose it's good you like it, since you'll be spending most of your time here for the indefinite future. I'm really quite glad you helped put this idea in my head. You don't deserve the credit, of course, but I might not have thought of it not for your haphazard advice. It's a brilliant plan, truly. If I restore these gardens, then I will certainly secure Arken's favor. Why will doing this secure his favor? It's evident he never stopped loving Nadia, despite everything, and she cherished these gardens. So, he loved her, even though they were never together. According to the stories, she loved him as well. They was married, but in the end she chose to marry Geralt Feldren instead of Jeridar. How's that over irony? And Elborn, supposedly descendant from the goddess of love, spat in the name of romance to marry someone more practical. Geralt Feldren, the name of my real father. I don't think I'd ever heard it before now. Whatever happened to Geralt Feldren? Do you really not know nothing? He died less than a day before Nadia herself. He fell from a balcony and bled out of the stones below. Some call it a freak accident, others think Xavier Wolven might have had to do with it. Xavier Wolven again, the man who might have killed both my parents. I'm beginning to understand why Papa wants to kill him, no matter how dangerous the task might be. Let's not think about Xavier. I'm hoping Arken will forget about him when he sees this place. But even if Arken remains a stubborn asshole, at least we'll be doing something useful, as you so boldly suggested. Are there really no other Elborns still living here? Xavier killed most of them when he went on his rampage all those years ago. Those who survived gave up politics after that day. There are still plenty of Elborns in the kingdom, but no one like Nadia. It's a shame, really. I hear that the Elborn bloodline tends to yield the sexiest, most beautiful woman the world has to offer. They're also supposed to be one with nature or some shit like that. But most of them lack the spine to survive in the world of politics. They prefer to frolic in the fields or whatever the hell else they must be doing right now. I force myself to ignore the barb of romance comments and focus on the opportunity before me. No other Elborns like Nadia, he says. The work I do here, even if I keep my identity a secret, is how I will start to revive my mother's true legacy. I'm actually very glad you want me to do this, Raven. It really was a great idea. I didn't do it to please you. And you're a damn lucky you found a way to make yourself useful after what happened yesterday. Either way, thank you. Well, I know you're doing it to please you. Well, I don't know. I mean, one time I said this crap and he looked pleased, actually. If I say that one, he might be pleased too, and that's annoying. Either way, thank you. Well, look at that, you're actually learning to behave yourself. Crap! In any case, you've got a lot of work to do. I'd better leave you to do it. Well, I really am good at tending plants, but this is a whole lot of work for one person. Raven sighed wearily. I suppose I could recruit some other royal guards, sick of fun to help you. Actually, I know just who to ask. I still can't believe that the advice I gave Raven has turned so significantly to my benefit, but I'm not going to let such good luck to go waste. Without hesitation, I begin work revitalizing the Elborn Gardens. I'm tempted to explore the whole tower. According to Raven's standard, it could all be described as a garden. In some areas, trees actually grow into the walls and support the structure of the castle. Only someone bold enough to believe she could control the tree's growth would attempt such a feat. I already see signs that the careful balance once maintained between nature and human architecture has begun to collapse, and the latter is winning. If I had started this project later, the tower might have been beyond saving. I will try to make sure the trees are secure, but otherwise I must focus on the large cluster of rooms comprising the primary garden, so that I can restore the diverse variety of vegetables, fruits, and herbs that might provide food. For now, that means I must resist the urge to explore rooms and hallways where my parents might have lived in the past. For the next few days, my work in the gardens absorbs me, I barely see Reuben, who checks on me a few times, but otherwise keeps his distance. But even stranger is how rarely I see Nikolaus. In a way, I miss Nikolaus. On our journey to the castle, he would always try to make me smile. Why has he been acting so differently ever since we arrived? I sense that he is actively avoiding me. We see each other a few times, in passing, never long enough to have a long or private discussion. I want to ask him how long he knew about Arken living comfortably in the Jerdar Tower without telling me. I want to know why he flirted so boldly with me and then practically vanished. But I don't think he will talk to me about such things until he's ready, so I spent my energy rearranging the plants, packing fresh soil and feeding them nutrients. I have a good instinct as to which plants need what, and fortunately I've encountered most of them in the jungle, but the task remains daunting. It requires a great deal of tedious labor, and to get the nutrients I need, I have to know where to buy them. Which is why I can hardly contain my joy when my new assistant arrives. Hello again, Jungle Princess. Thank you for agreeing to do this, Valerie. I don't like being in the castle for long periods of time. I feel like I'm sticking my hand in a hornet's nest. But my dreams have been dull lately, so this adventure should provide them fresh fodder. Well then, perhaps you should start by telling me what exactly is going on here? Her question seems simple enough, but I find myself struggling to answer it. We're just fixing the garden, and that's all you need to know. There's a lot to explain, but if you really want to hear about it... Well, she's nice and everything. This? Whatever, I do. Tell me everything. Well, I really am trying to restore the Elmer Gardens, but I'm doing it for the man, Lord Reuben, so he can eventually sell it for gold. Does that mean these hornets know your true identity? Why not? I'm still using the name Fair, and the fake thing, I'm training to become a member of the Royal Guard. This man who sent for you, Lord Reuben, is currently my supervisor. Oh no, you're not going to start wearing those ugly gold rings like most of the other guards, are you? I don't think so. Anyway, Reuben wants you to use these gardens to impress people, but I'm doing this for the sake of making food. Being here also makes me feel closer to my mother, you know. I think so, I do. She must have been like a jungle princess, with an aura so strong I can feel it from a distance, like the wind blowing. Just standing here makes me sense the love and beauty she must have encompassed. What about your papa? Or at least the man you call papa? You know, the grand traitor. I flinch and look around nervously. Of course we're alone here, or I wouldn't have spoken so freely to begin with. I suppose the mere question of what I'm going to do about Papa at all is what unnerves me the most. Well, it turns out he really need my help. I wonder about that. Nikolaus told me Arken's living in the Jerdar Tower now, like he never even left it. You spoke to Nikolaus? Of course, he's my friend. We talk to each other often. I haven't seen him much lately. I feel like he's avoiding me. Valerie sighed softly. There's something you should know about Nikolaus, if you haven't already figured it out. Nikolaus, he's a cloud. A cloud? Have you ever laid down in the grass and stared up at the clouds for hours? I do it a lot. Anyway, they're always changing shape, always drifting, and they never become solid. If I get too full, they collapse into rain, and then they are gone. Nikolaus is sort of like that. He likes to have fun, play games, assume different roles. Sometimes he'll do things that seem brave, but only when he's feeling spontaneous or trying to impress a pretty girl. Even being a scout for the Royal Guard is like a game to him. Every day he puts on a costume and plays soldier. But only because it's amusing, and also because it's one of the few remaining jobs that puts food on the table. He finds his job amusing? More or less. I expect that when he found you in the savannah, he found it all quite exciting. He formed a new shape for you. He decided to play the hero who would help you save Arken. But now that you're here and Arken's not in prison, and things are confusing, he feels to weighed down. I'm sorry, Jungle Princess, but I did try to warn you. Nikolaus means well, but he's not someone you can depend on. Either he gets overwhelmed and dissipates, or he simply drifts away. I suppose I need to get the key back from Nikolaus then. The key to the Grand Keep? Are you certain? Plenty of royal peace would stink sharp if I knew you possessed it. I'm not afraid of them. Of course not. But what will you do once you have it? I'm not entirely sure, but I might as well start by seeing what's inside the ground keep. I like how you think. Until then, we have plans to grow. I try to push my confused feelings about Nicolaus aside and return my attention to the task at hand. Right, let's get to work. Well, but we'll get to work in the next, right. We'll get back to work in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed that one and see you then. Bye.